Yo, what's going on YouTube? So in this video, I'll be breaking down a full settings guide and how to introduce you guys to ALC Bleedthrough and overall just how to get your ALCs correct if you do want to start playing with Bleedthrough and overall just everything you should have in your settings. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for 1,500 subscribers. My last video with the full in-depth guide of Apex went fucking bananas. Holy shit, you guys almost got 20k views and 500 likes, my best video so far. So I really appreciate it. Without further ado, let's just get right into it. So in my settings, gameplay, I would say this is probably one of the most important things that you should have on, especially everything I have on here. So me personally, I play with max brightness with Tritanopia. If you if you struggle with seeing your enemies clear or like your eyesight just isn't that much isn't that good, I recommend you put your brightness on max and you play on Tritanopia. So this is what Tritanopia looks like for me. As you can see, it's very bright. All my enemies are yellow, so it's very easy to see them. But if you go to normal, you see how everything's just kind of dull now, and nothing looks as good as it does with Tritanopia. So that's the key trick that I think that a lot of people just don't put you onto. So I recommend just change your colorblind settings, or if you don't like Tritanopia, I recommend do Deuteranopia. Those are probably the top two I would pick. But everything else in here, you should definitely run. I broke down the crosshair damage feedback and damage numbers. Always keep this on stacking, never do both. We all know why. You hit that one mag, you want to see how much damage you do. And crosshair damage feedback, for every average player, it automatically turns on. And let me pick up a gun really quick. But as you can see, there's just a lot of clutter when you shoot somebody. That visual clutter, I don't really like it on my guns. You turn it off. There's nothing there but just the reticle, so you can see. And for your interact prompt style, it's automatically also turned on default. I recommend you click compact. And button hints, if you do know your Legends abilities, if you have them on, it just shows. But if you have them off, it doesn't. It just looks a lot more aesthetic on your clips. That's the only reason why I have it off, but that's about it. Everything else here you should have. Enemy health bar you should definitely have on 100%. Your enemies can see. Always sprint should always be on. Incoming damage feedback should always be in 3D. Never change this shit. I don't know how to tell you guys. I see a lot of people who run both. This is what 2D looks like. It is definitely super weird. You see how choppy it is? It's just super weird. It just makes your game look shit. I don't know how to explain it, but you should never run it. And then 2D, 3D both. It's just not it. It's just a little too much, but 3D is the perfect thing you should run. Taking damage closes deathbox or crafting menu. Now this you should always have off because let's say you're in a 1v2 situation and you knock one and you get the finish. You could easily get that armor swap, but if the kid starts shooting you, you will get close out of the death box and you can't get that swap until you open the death box again. And if you don't have really fast fingers or your binds aren't that well, then you will not get that swap and you will die probably. Health and ammo pops up. This should always be on. Voice lines up to you. Arsenal maps, off-screen portrait, toggle pop. These are really not that important. These are just aesthetic wise, same thing. Streamer mode, everyone knows the streamer mode. Anonymous mode, I have it on because a lot of people do run into me in games. Everything else should be here. Cross platform play enabled. Performance display should be on if you guys do want to run 120. And then everything else. So here's my reticle colors if you guys do want to copy it. I just want really bright green. It's my favorite color. But I do recommend bright green, blue, even light blue, and pink. Those are my top three. Those are the best three reticles you could possibly use. You should never use red because there's a lot of red skins, and overall you get hit a lot more shots with the green, blue, or pink. So in my controller, my button layout, it is on normal, but this is because I have really fast fingers. A lot of people can't comprehend it, but I will possibly get a hand cam for you guys going soon, but I really just do play normally. But if you do want custom binds, I recommend just customizing your own, or you should either play these three, bumper puncher, button puncher, or maybe I would say evolved ninja. Do not play grenader because this guy doesn't do shit. But overall, I just recommend customizing your own with paddles. If you guys do have paddles in your controller, this will definitely elevate your game. Stick layout, I have it on default. Everything else here, it's up to you. But I just have it on default because I've never really played anything else. I heard Legacy and Legacy Southpaw are pretty good, but that's only for like players who are dominant in their left hand, but I don't really see a lot of people who play that shit. Your interact and reload button should always be tapped. You should never hold this because it would just sell you. Crouch button, I have it on toggle. My aim's hold. Um, Survival slot button, I do have it on because I'm not trying to go into my menu every time to pick out like a heat shield or something. That's just kind of annoying in my opinion. Adaptive triggers I have off because this kind of fucks up your aim a little bit. So L2 and R2 button dead zones, there should be none. I don't know why you want dead zones on your L2, R2. That's just a little bit weird. You should never have that on. And my menu cursor speed is on max. So I do play 4-2 linear with no dead zone with ALC per optics. So right here I will break down the difference between ALC per optics and overall just per optics in general. When I was breaking this down, a lot of people got confused on the difference. So per optic settings, I do have these off. Now I do know people who do play with it, especially if they're maybe a classic player or they just play linear with small dead zone, so there's no stick drift. But overall, I do have these off. So the difference between the two per optic ADS here, it's mainly just your sensitivity. So your look ADS. So this is when you aim down sights. This is what it will be. But if you have this off, then it will just be whatever your main sense is. But you could change these to whatever. So automatically, whatever you sense play, I mean whatever sense you play, your one times per optic will be that ADS. So if you play 4-3 classic, your one times will be 4-3 classic, but 3 ADS. And then you can customize the rest. But honestly, if you do want to elevate your game style, I do not recommend having these on. I haven't really heard much good things about it. I do know people that play it, but how do I tell them? You guys will just stay mediocre and will never improve. So my top settings I recommend, number one, my settings. I'm not being biased. I'm not being a narcissist, but I'm just telling you guys right now, I think my settings are probably one of the most consistent settings that will ever play, and you will improve greatly on them if you do want to really get that chance to just fry shit. But besides linear, I do recommend classic. You can always start off with 4-3 classic. This is the go-to, or 5-4. I used to play 5-4 because 4-3 was just a little too slow for me. But I do not recommend playing steady. I do not recommend playing fine aim or Nova high velocity. Those are the worst settings you could play. But overall, linear will always be superior. If you do not want stick drift and you have a really bad controller that does get a lot of stick drift, I recommend playing maybe 4-3 linear with small dead zone. You will get no stick drift, but you will not get the same effect as the look dead zone. Your movement dead zone should always be on small. Inverted look, that's if you want inverted look, but I don't think anybody wants that. And I play with vibration off. This is one thing I do highly recommend. Your vibration should always be off. It will get some time to use to if you do play with vibration, but at the same time, you'll just improve because you don't want your controller shaking every time you shoot somebody. That's just in my opinion, but some people do like it for just so they know they're hitting people. But it's honestly your personal preference, but I do recommend you turn it off. So here's the gold right here. Your ALC controls. So this is everything I have on and everything you should copy if you do want to get more consistent. I do recommend you copy my exact settings. So everything in here should be set at 0 besides your target, melee, and your target compensation should just be on default because we're not on PC. But this right here is the goal. Everything here should be off. I don't care what anybody tells you. These don't do shit. These don't do anything in game. I don't know how to tell you guys, and these will always be off. Everything here should be set at 0. It's that simple. It's that simple. With your per optics, this is the gold right here. So my settings exactly, I will repeat myself. 4-2 linear with small dead zone with ALC per optics, not normal per optics, ALC. You need to go in your ALC, and then this is a bleed through effect, and I will explain what the bleed through does. So this is the custom ADCs, custom ADS controls. So my one times will be set at 1.8, and everything is 2 besides the sear passive. Just because I don't play seer, and I'm not switching it back to 2. I'm just lazy like that. But this is the gold right here. So the AOC effect, this is what happens. So your per optic ADS sensitivity should always be on, and your custom look controls are off. So everyone, this will give you the bleed through effect. So whatever settings you're playing, every time you aim down, it will be your AOC per optics. So everyone thinks I'm playing 4-2. No, I'm not. I'm playing 4 1.8 pretty much. If I have a sight on, it will be 1.8. So honestly, I think my settings. I'm gonna keep saying this till it gets to your guys' head. I don't know how to tell you, but my settings are probably one of the best in the game. They are the most consistent, and overall, they are probably one of the best settings in the game. There are obviously settings are personal preference, but this is just me breaking down my settings and overall how to find your sense, if you know what I mean. I recommended three settings: 4-3 classic, 5-4 classic, or 4-3 linear with small dead zone if you guys do want to get better at the game, if you do want to build your
I must
fundamentals and
choose an
mechanics.
enhancement.
But if you are at that stage where you do really want to improve, I recommend my settings. You should try these out, see how they go. I've read a few comments. People tried out my settings. People are dropping 4Ks, one of the best shits I've ever heard. People are dropping 20 bombs. Let's fucking go, guys. You guys are killing it. So here's my video. I told you guys my brightness is on max. Field of view should be 110. It should never be past 108. It should always be between 108. Actually, I'm kind of I'm kind of jocking it a little bit, but 106 to 110 should always be where your FOV is. You should never play anything lower than that. But I do recommend just put it on 110 if you do play on a monitor and you have 120, just because you can see everything. FOV ability scanning. So this is when you're using movement abilities. This should be disabled. Um, this just like focuses up your screen. Your sprint view shake. This should be minimal because you don't want your screen to be shaking every time you like
An
pop a
upgrade is
battery
available.
or
I must
you're in a
choose.
octane stim. And the graphics mode obviously should be on performance if you do want the 120 FPS. Audio, this isn't really important. This really doesn't do shit. I just have everything pretty low because I just don't like hearing the lobby music at all. No music in my games because I just bump music in my own headphones. But overall, gameplay, this is where all the gold is. I broke that down already. You guys should copy everything I have on here. I'm telling you, these are the best settings in the game. Controller, stick layout should be on default. Everything else forward to linear, no dead zone with ALC per optics. It should all be on 0. And then once you go here, per optic settings, always leave these on for the ALC bleed through effect. Turn these off, then you have the effect. It's whatever ALCs you want to put. I recommend mine if you do want to try them out. Video, we've already went through that. Brightness on max. Audio.
I must choose an
And then overall,
enhancement.
that should be it. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked the video, like the video. Subscribe. We're almost at 2K subs. We're going fucking crazy. I love you guys. Shout out to my shorts as well if you guys do want to watch some smaller gameplay where I'm not breaking down huge videos like this. And sorry for the week wait on this next video. I was busy, just getting clips and overall just getting my boost done. But at the same time, hope you guys enjoy. You can catch me on TikTok. It's just my name, my YouTube name. And I love you guys. Peace.